Good evening, Cricut family South Africa. My name is Soraya and today we are going to have a Cricut intermediate class. As always, if you can hear me and see me, please let me know in the comments. A Cricut intermediate class. Hello, Carrie. Welcome. A Cricut intermediate class. There you go. I think we can hear me and see me. So I'm just going to wait for a few people to join before we get started with this class. If you've been in these classes before or if you are new, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know if we have people coming back or if we have any newbies joining us today. Hello, Santi. Santi is one of our awesome regulars. Okay, so we're almost ready to get started. So before we begin, once again, hello everyone, my name is Soraya. I am a Cricut ambassador, and today we are doing a Cricut intermediate class. As always, these classes are proudly sponsored by Cricut SA and Logitech. We are doing an intermediate class today, so if you are a beginner, do ask questions in the comments. We have some amazing admin that can assist. We're going to go a little bit faster today than we do in our beginner classes, but we always take questions. And if you can't make it to the end of the video, that's okay. Or if you need to come back and re-watch this, you can always catch it either on Facebook, the Cricut Family South Africa Facebook group, or our Cricut SA YouTube channel. Nadine, hello Nadine. Nadine said she's new. Welcome. I see Carol and Candace. Candace is new, but she's on her 8th project. That's amazing. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to get started with our project. So let's switch over here. And this is what we are doing today. Hello, Bianca. Hello, Jeanette. Hello, Mumtaz. I love seeing all these people in the class. Awesome. So this is what we are doing today. We are doing print, then cut. So if you haven't been to one of our print, then cut classes, we are going to dive in and learn a little bit about the print, then cut feature, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite features of the Cricut. And as you know, you can do print then cut on the Joy Xtra. The Explore is the Makers as well. Hello, Lolly. So this is what we are making today. We are doing a Women's Day project. Women's Day is coming up, so we are going to celebrate the amazing women in this community by doing these little scrunchie holders. So this is what it looks like. There's various different ones. The one that I've made kind of looks like the top or the dress of the lady on the image, which I think is really cute. I have seen different ones where it kind of looks like, so right here, for example, the lady might have a bun in her hair, and that's where the scrunchie would go. That would look like the scrunchie is actually a scrunchie. But for this Women's Day one, I wanted to do something a little cute, a little feminine, and I thought making it look like a top or a dress would be super cute. And then it's got a little saying on it. I have made 2 different types. This one, as you can see, has some cutouts where if you are using a thinner scrunchie or a tighter scrunchie, you might want to do the cutouts. Or if you didn't have, or if your scrunchie was maybe a little looser and you want to put a score line, you could also put a score line here, remove the words, and then fold this up so that you can secure your scrunchie. But my scrunchie is pretty secure on here, so I didn't put a score line to attach it, and this one actually doesn't have any cutouts. It's just the card. So that is what we are doing today. I hope you are ready. If you have done print then cut before, please let me know. So we're going to go over to Design Space. So we have shared the project, the link to this project. My project has 4 different designs. Today we're going to be learning how I made the base of it. We're just going to do a little bit of design work, how I made the base of it, and how you can customize it. So we're just going to do one. So these are the 2 that we'll be working with today. And I'm going to show you on this one how exactly I did the design. So I'm just going to hide this. So first up, what I want to do is I just want to add some of the elements to yes, we did. I did do Mumtaz said this one's for her. Mumtaz wears a hijab. I love these actually. The reason why I went with this design is because I think you can make them very inclusive. If you are doing it for a bunch of different people, you can make it very inclusive. Different skin tones, different hair, different styles. Because we are a rainbow nation. Okay, I'll be Sonia today. All right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to come over here to images. And I'm going to go to advanced images just because I want to see a bigger picture. And I'm just going to add the elements that I used onto my canvas. So the first thing I did was I searched for boho arch. So what I was trying to do here is I was hoping that I could just find a background design that I liked, something like this flower design here. This one is actually already a print then cut, and so that's why I searched for boho arch, because I thought there would be some options for me. And scrolling through, I saw some adorable things, like this is really cute. I think if you're just doing a plain scrunchie holder with a name on it or something, that would actually be perfect as well. But I didn't find one I wanted, so I just put a regular arch onto the canvas. I'm going to click here. So the reason why I use this arch from here and not the one from the shapes is because I wanted my arch to be long and not too fat. And sometimes with the ones here from the shapes, let me just switch over to the shapes so you can see what I'm talking about. So there is one here, and sometimes when you adjust the size, it throws off the shape of the arch. So I decided to use one from the images. Okay, back to the images we're looking for. So that was the first one that I did. And then next I did like abstract woman drawing, because I wasn't quite sure what the vibe I was going for. So I thought something like this with line drawing and a few shapes would be great. And while I was searching in this area, I saw a design that I liked, which is I love these little girls. They would be so cute, by the way. This is the one. So I saw this while I was scrolling around, and I thought I really liked the background shapes and the flow of this, so I added that to the canvas. Okay, and now we can go to the canvas and work on our base. Okay, so I'm just going to make that a little smaller and bring these two together. Okay, let me zoom in here so we can see. There you go. So my size that I decided to go with, because I wanted the picture of the girl or the woman to be quite big and I wanted it to say Happy Women's Day. My holder is a little on the bigger side, but it's perfect if you're doing something like for birthdays, and I love the size. So the size was 8.25 by 18.2. How did I come up with the size? I was just playing around with it until I thought it was the perfect size for the scrunchie as well, so that the scrunchie doesn't look too big or too small. And so that's what I went with. Hello, Zelda. You're late. Does that mean we all get like little treats from you? All right. So if you look at my design, you can see there's a bit of an outline here to my design. And to create that, I could have got an arch with an outline from the images, but I wanted to customize the size of the outline and where the outline sat. So I created that myself. So how I did that, let's change this to the color that I use. I think it's that. Okay. So how I created that outline is by using offsets. So first I did a negative offset. So the first offset was -4. So what I love about Design Space when you start to learn the features of Design Space is that you can very much customize your projects. You don't have to do this when you're a beginner. There are tons of designs that you can use. But when you learn Design Space, then you can kind of customize and play around a little bit. So that's the first offset that I added. So it was a -0.4. And then to this offset, I added an offset. So let's hide my original arch. And to this offset, I added an offset of 0.1. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to do 0.1. Okay, and so now you can see if I change the color of these, you'd be able to see them a bit clearer. You can see that there is a smaller arch and a bigger arch, and by grabbing these two layers and slicing, remember you can only slice with 2 layers. So grabbing those 2 layers, and that's the reason why I hid our original arch. Grabbing those 2 layers, you can see I've created the perfect outline for my original arch. So that's how I did that. So I'm going to grab these 2 and I'm going to group them just so that I keep them aligned and I don't mess them around. All right, so the next part of this design is adding the little decorations at the back. So let's zoom in here, let's close this. And let's zoom in over here. So you can see in my original design, behind the words, behind the lady, there is a little bit of a pattern in the back. So you can find or make a pattern by just searching in the images, but I decided to create my own. So how I did that is I deleted from here these shapes because I didn't need them. And then if you can see, you'll see that in this image here of the girl, let's move over a little bit, is where that design came from. So you can, of course, you can slice or you could contour to change this pattern. So I'm going to show you how you could contour. So you can click on the image, come down here to contour, and you can just click on, you can see here I'm clicking on these. Oh, let's click on her. So if I come back here, you can see by clicking on that, it's removed her completely from the design. The other way you could do it is you could slice, and so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to use 2 ovals to slice what I actually want. Depending on the image you're using, sometimes slicing is quicker and sometimes contouring is quicker. So in this case, because there's a lot of small pieces, I'm just going to use some ovals to create a layer here. So I'm going to grab these 2 ovals. I'm going to combine and weld them. This is because you can only slice with 2 layers. And I'm going to grab these 2 layers now that I've created, and I'm going to slice. And now it's given me exactly what I used for my design back here. There's 2. So I'm going to delete the one. All right. But first what I did is I also moved these around. So more slicing. So I'm just going to grab an oval and I'm going to slice. Whatever shape works. It doesn't have to be an oval. I'm going to need a second one. So I'm going to grab this one here and slice. All right. And I'm going to get rid of that because I don't need it. And now I'm going to slice down here as well. Now, if you're a beginner and you're in this class, again, you don't have to create it from scratch. There's some amazing templates for you to use. But if you want to customize a few different things, this is the way you would do it. All right. So what I did here is I made this white and just sized it and plopped it one here. Actually, I think this one I came all the way to the end. This one was around here. And at this point, I was just kind of going with what felt good. And this one I wanted it to be quite big, so I moved it around and then just plopped it here. So you can see from one image I managed to create my own little thing, which is cool because if I wanted to now create a gift tag, I could use the same process and it will be matching, which I love. So this is kind of where I'm going to leave these little decor things. So I'm going to grab them all. I'm going to combine and weld them back together. And now I'm going to add it to my group that I've already created here. And what I want to do, okay, let me ungroup it. What I want to do is I want to move this arch to the front so that the white pieces go behind it. And then I'm going to grab them all and group them. So this is our base already done. Very quick. And now we're going to add the image. And for the image, I search for boho woman. And there's a ton that you can use depending on the vibe that you want to go for. And so I decided to go with this. Zelda said she loves the little bits in the background. I think sometimes, Zelda, like when you learn these extra little things, I think it just adds sometimes a little extra special touch to your project. I think the image would have looked perfectly fine without it, but I think it does add a little something to the design. And so that's the cool thing about learning the features of Design Space. Okay, so for this lady here, I did delete the circle at the back because we don't need it. And then I just kind of placed her roughly where I thought. Actually, let's put the writing first. I think that will be easier. So for this lady, you can change the skin color, for example, if you wanted to. That's the cool thing with Design Space images. You could adjust the color if you wanted, of course, match all the colors to it. You can change the color of the flowers if you wanted, if you have a different scrunchie. So my scrunchie is like a pinky salmon, so I'm going to stick with these colors. But my first one that I used was purple, so I gave her purple flowers. Today I'm going to use the salmon scrunchie. So for the text, I did Happy Women's Day in caps. Whoops, there goes my writing. And I can't spell. Yep. Alright, the first time I did this, I spelled it very horribly, and then I printed it and didn't realize I spelled it wrong. Happy Women's Day. Okay, so that I wanted in capital letters. And then what I did here is I came up to the fonts and just looked at the different fonts and what they look like. I've showed this before. Design Space has this really cool feature now that shows you what the different fonts would look like. So if you just click on them, it shows you what they would look like. It gives you a preview. Sorry, you don't have to click on them. The preview's there. And I actually chose this one because I think it's quite a trendy font. And I went with this like brownie maroon color for the writing. So I'm going to bring it up here. So another feature of Design Space that I used is the curve, where you can curve your fonts. Sarah said she always gives her mom to spell check. Yes. So I'm going to curve my font. So with the curving here, what I did was just kind of felt it out. And you can see it shows you the background and how it would fit into your project. So I curved it to here and then just sort of played around with it until I liked the spacing of it. And I like that. I thought that was pretty cool. So I left it here. I think my writing was a little small actually. Let's make my writing a little smaller and bring it back out again. Let's go to there. So when it comes to designing, I always feel like the more you design, the more you have a feel for it. And so do play around with the designs and you'll kind of get a feel for things like how much curve to do. But curve is a really cool feature here. Amy and Sarah are teachers, and Amy says, teachers are the worst fellas. I'll have to remember that. I think everyone is with our phones and all the things just auto-correcting for us. That's why I was Sonia today to Mom Test. Alright, and then for the bottom here, I did a cute little saying, which was, I love you, a Scrunchie. So here's a Scrunchie. And actually I put an exclamation point at the end because I speak in exclamation points. Okay, where is my text and exclamation? Nope. Okay, it's not letting me put an exclamation, but that's fine. So then I just resized it to what I thought looks good. And I think I went for about a 20.7. Actually, that is pretty much where it is. So you can see here, because my elements at the moment are all still basic cut, they kind of look weird when they are layered on top of each other. So you can see here in my final one, even though I have the words on top of Be White, it doesn't look so strange. But because the one that I'm working on is still in basic cut, I haven't changed anything yet to print then cut, it does look a little strange, but it will look fine as soon as we're done. So before we move on, one thing that I didn't do yet is I haven't aligned the text with the with my arch, so I'm going to do that now. So grabbing the Women's Day, grabbing the